Well, hello, THL. We're back again for another week of Hearthstone. I'm your host, Saku, aka Jim. Quite the busy week that we had. I think everybody's tired now. Felt like we played a Battlefy tournament, but everybody survived. Quite a few close battles, but we'll get into the finer details as we work our way through our cast here. So I want to introduce to my left or to your right, depending on how you're looking at the screen. We got Super Chicken. How you doing, Super Chicken? Giving us a silent treatment.
I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, it was an incredibly busy week, and certainly happy to be past that and looking forward to playoffs. And kind of like you mentioned, it was a Battlefy tournament. Two of us were also in a Battlefy tournament, myself and Neji. So yeah, it was a particularly hectic weekend for the both of us, but we came out of it mostly on top, and are looking forward to the next week.
Yeah, playoffs are going to get super busy super quick. So we got Neji Boston on your bottom left of your screen. So how you doing, sir?
I am doing good. Glad to be back.
And then we got Wild9, who's I'm trying to remember last time you were on Hearthcenter. How you doing?
Doing good. It's been years? Question mark. It's been a while.
Happy to have you. And then Geranium Battle, top right-hand corner of your screen. What's going on?
Man, I feel a lot like Chicken. Last week was absolutely hectic, and I'm just glad that THL is on the other side of it now.
Yep. For those of us, or those of you who didn't encounter what we did, it was just unfortunate expansion updates that have pushed the season a little bit longer than it should have. So then it condensed our final playoff week. So, but everybody got through it. There's a few DQs, but that's neither here nor there. Everything's solved up now, so the playoffs are all running on time. So that's the good part. So speaking of the good part, now we get to go to the player of the week. So, Chicken, you want to start with the Pro Series?
Yeah, for sure. Our Pro Series first player of the week is Lemur. In their final bid for playoffs, Zymox and Chill put up an impressive 18 points against Swagoi. Their season ultimately came to a close. However, Lemur capped off his season with his 7th straight win in a row for Pro. He hasn't dropped a match since week 1, an impressive feat to add to his incredible season across all series. So congrats to Lemur. And our second player of the week in Pro, since we had 2 Pro weeks packed into one, is Cookie Monster. Sometimes when the playoff race starts to pull away, your job is to make it spicy and snipe one of those teams in the hunt still. Swagoi did just that, delivering to F3L their third loss in a tight 12-10 victory. Cookie Monster delivered a solid 3-0 victory in the contest with the only XL Spooky Mage brought in Pro Series that week. Such a powerful performance that the opposing team nominated them. GG, well played indeed. Yeah, congrats to both of the Pro Player of the Week. Players of the Week.
Players of the Week, that's right, yeah, because keep on forgetting that it was Pro and Hero that had the 2 weeks in one where Legacy and Wild were unscathed. So
yeah, and if anyone's wondering, it was Neji Boston that was 3-0'd by.
I also suggested to nominate him. Okay, it was my idea.
It was a big win, but yeah, it was our
is too good.
Our playoff spot had been pretty secure for the past few weeks, so we weren't too beat up about losing to Swagoi, but it was definitely a really strong showing for them.
Yeah.
I think they showed that they certainly had the potential to make playoffs, just weren't able to string all those wins together when they needed to.
Yeah, it's hard when only 4 teams total make playoffs. Really cutting a lot of the availability for teams to make it in.
Yeah, I think that's a theme in a couple of the series, as we'll see when we get into the show.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was hard to kind of pull some of the information to, I guess, capture, because it seemed like we were talking about the same team from last week, but with the tight race that was in each of the series, it was important to note. So, all right, so let's go to who's next here? Edgy Boston with Legacy.
All right. We have Water Fury 012. In the battle between canceled Hearthstone season and standard THL degenerates for a second place in Gold Conference, Mirror Points decided who would make it, and Water Fury 012's first win of the season and THL could not have come at a more crucial moment. Taking down a former champion in Game 5 is the drama you love to see from the outside, but don't like to have to play always. Congratulations to Water Fury 012 on Player of the Week and canceled Hearthstone season on playoffs.
All right. Any comments from the group, or just
Congrats on your first win. That's
there
awesome.
you go.
And playoffs. Time to get some more wins.
No, please, wins can stop there. I am their opponent this week.
Water Fury.
All right, and then the final portion of Player of the Week, we have Wild9.
All right. For Hero Series, we have 2 players of the week, Azalea Akari and Neji Boston. So first, Azalea. Coming into the final week, Azalea was having a fantastic season. However, the home stretch would prove to be the toughest yet. APM needed a win versus the top team in Hero in order to make playoffs. And Azalea needed to win against someone they've already fought 7 times. And their lifetime record at 4-4, the third flower-based member of APM took a win and got their team through in a monstrous playoff race. Congrats on yet another impressive season. And I know they made playoffs by like 2 points, right? So definitely in the clutch. And then Neji Boston, another impressive season for Neji, came to the close with an extremely necessary 5-0 match sweep over the top team in purple. Neji needed to close it out in 4 games, as Let Them Cook needed to score 41 out of their possible 46 points to make playoffs. Having done that, they seem primed and ready to destroy the postseason. Who let them cook? Man, Hero sounds crazy in the last 2 weeks.
It was. It very much well was. It was like a heartbreak, excitement, then heartbreak again, then more excitement. But we'll get to it. All right. So now that we move on to actually reviewing some things that were going on week 7 and week 8 in Hero, and Geranium Battle is going to open that up.
Well, for one of the 2 matches, we are going to be covering Golden Wisps versus any primers. Golden Wisps, unfortunately, did not quite make it, but they had the most impressive result of the 3 top teams in Week 7, with a 17-6 victory. Lemur, I know it doesn't show his ban, but it was a real match. Took the Game 5 win over Turtle. Jespin swept Wild Rose. C-Mac swept Rockfire. Rocked You got his 2nd win of the season by winning over MPV. And then Onfall took another sweep over MR Catherine.
Pretty impressive. They had to get the points to kind of stay or try to stay.
Yeah, they ended up missing playoffs by only 2 points.
Right.
So a little bit unfortunate, but still a very impressive showing in Week 7 there.
Mm-hmm.
If no one else has anything to say on that, then there's one other match from week 8 in Teal.
It was on stream on Sunday, wasn't it?
Okay. There was, one of the matches was played on stream. I am, of course, talking about the match between Arcanists Perform Miracles, which was the second place team going in, and Ballers and Sliders Enjoy Dabbing, which was the first place team going in. Arcanists Perform Miracles ended up taking a 14 to 11 point victory, so now they're the top team. With the 1 seed being on stream, I took a very swingy game 5 over Based Inc. Justin, early on in the week, took a game 5 win over Stinzy. Dankest, in the final hours, took a Druid sweep over G-Kick. Azalea ended up taking a near sweep over Skirt Reynolds and got Player of the Week as a result. And You Kitten Me got the sweep over Canoe, which once we saw that result, we knew we had to win literally every single match we had to in order to even make playoffs. Very tight race.
That's the way we like to see the end of the season go, I guess. Maybe not so much for the teams, but makes it exciting for a chance to get to the playoffs itself. So, okay. We got Neji Boston doing the Purple Conference in Hero.
That is me. All right. We have 2 matches for you. First one is Dola versus F2L Black. This was a very important match for the playoffs. On screen it's a different one.
Yeah. No, go ahead. It was just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I just goofed up. That's all.
I got you. All right. We'll do this one with the F12 Black. Very, very important match. These were the 3 teams that were trying to make playoffs that you can see on your screen here. So we had Ron take a 3-1 over Rebob, Arhat 3-1 over Seth, 2-star Mako 3-2 over Copa, Bone Masher 3-2 over Dragon Rider, and Totino's 3-0 over Saku. The very last match, I believe, was Mako versus Copa, and that decided who made playoffs in the end. I mean, not at the time, but if you look back at it, whoever won that match would have made it. So, very, very close. Came to game 5. I'm just going to talk about the other match as well because it's kind of relevant at the same time.
Yeah.
We have Dola versus Let Them Cook. Let Them Cook did take a sweep 20-7, which definitely saved our season. We barely made it into playoffs. We're literally tied with the second place team and 1 point above third place. So definitely needed all those points. We had myself 3-1 over Ron, Chicken 3-2 over Hat, Corden 3-2 over 2-star Mako, Tab 3-0 over Dragon Rider, and Ricecryption 3-2 over Saku. So very, very close matches. Ended up, again, being a point difference between 3 teams. So throughout the whole season, people always say every point matters, and it really does. As you can see, it really comes down to the closest margins.
Exactly. It's, as we're going to see here in a second with the standings, you'll see. Oops, I did something graphically error. Let's see. Anyway, so if you could see the standings, you could see Teal Conference and Purple Conference, where everybody finished at the end of the season. So, anybody want to touch on how close it was?
Could have been closer. Could have had it with 3-way tie.
Could have.
So true.
I actually wonder if the double week. Do you guys think that this has, especially since a lot of you were involved in the close matches, right? Do you think that the double week has an impact here? Because a lot of times it's not that there aren't close matches when you just have a single week at the end there, but a lot of teams are in it. You know what I mean? Depending on how the last 2 weeks shake out. Do you guys feel like it had an impact. Whether some teams will just lie down, I guess, in the last week because they have no chance versus like people who are still in it or things of that nature.
I do
I,
think it had an impact, yeah.
I think that's just a byproduct of like THL in general, though, of like you're saying teams lying down. That kind of happens every season, whether it's a 2-weeker or not. Like if this 2-weeker happened in the middle of the season, it would have the same sort of impact.
Yeah, but having two at once is a bit different than one, I guess, because I mean you have both at the same time, and if a team is out of it, then they kind of lie down for 2 matches. I mean, they might do that the last 2 weeks anyways, but I don't know. If it's the last week and you're so far out of it and you still have 2 matches, you might just lie down and not really want to try. So that
I
could have
imagine
affected it.
I imagine that with 2 weeks to go, though, there are more teams that would be in it, right? To some degree.
Yeah, there's just like more points up for grabs in what
Right.
like in time wise is the final week. And since you could play your matches in any order, you're basically just like playing a week where like points were worth double, essentially.
Yep.
So yeah, no, there's definitely like way more teams that were still in it, technically, like going into that final time wise week.
I do think that it was a bit different in like how pressured the players were, because I think a lot of the most dominant players of the season took a loss in this last set of 2 weeks. Where like there were I know Kitten went like 6-0 to 6-1. I think Dart also went 6-0 to 6-1. Azalea also went 6-0 to 6-1. So like yeah, like I think it's just as a product of needing to prepare for two possibly wildly different matches.
Yeah, it pushes the prep for sure. Yeah, that definitely is, especially if you're playing multiple conferences that were in that situation, right?
Right.
Multiple series.
Yeah. Your mind, instead of focused on that, if you play in 3 different series, then you know your 3 different opponents, but then this turned into a six opponent kind of deal if you're playing 2 series at the same time. Anyway, it was. I know from a hero side of things, it made things with the top 6 teams that we're looking at on the page right now. It made it super interesting on who was going to land where, because of if you look at let them cook destroyed Dola in week 8. But we did well against F2L Black, or Dola did well against F2L Black, and Golden Wisp is trying to keep up with the based group, and try and keep pace with APM. It's I thought it was cool but bad and pressure filled afterwards. So
Yeah.
but
I
now
think it's quite possible we would have seen the same if it was split over 2 weeks. It's quite possible we would have seen like the same sort of thing happen, though, just because like those were sort of the trajectories that every team had. And I know that Let Them Cook sort of had like an internal speech of like we should put a lot more effort in. And I don't know if that I think that probably would have happened regardless on if it were split over 2 weeks or just in the single week like it was.
Yeah. All right. So next we can go to the PPR, Hero PPR, if Super Chicken wants to touch on that.
For sure. Yeah, so starting off with our honorable mentions in Hero PPR, we have Always Just in Time at 3-2 with a 12-10 game score. We have Risen at 5-3 with an 18-14 game score. We have Neji Boston at 5-3 with an 18-15 game score. Corridon at 5-2 with a 16-13 game score. And Yellow Dart at 6-2 with a 19-11 game score. Then rounding out our top 10, we have Dr. Bombd at 5-2 with an 18-12 game score. Based Inc. at 5-3 with a 20-12 game score. Chewy at 5-2 with a 17-14 game score. 2-star Mako at 6-2 with a 22-11 score. Ron Mexico at 6-2 with a 21-12 game score. Then we have our 7-1s. We have Azalea Kari with a 23-10 game score. Jespin with a 23-9 game score. You Kitten Me with a 22-11 game score. Gleamer all the way up at second with a 21-13 game score. And finally, our only undefeated player on the list, we have Max himself, Dream in battle at 7-0 with only 5 game losses. So congrats to everyone who made Hero PBR. Congrats to you all on a great season.
Yeah.
Hero.
7-0 is a pretty big feat with only 5 losses throughout the whole season. So, congrats, Max, on that for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Are we any comments before we move on to the commercial that Wild9 is going to be privileged to read through?
Can't wait.
I know, right?
Best part of the show.
I'm here once a year.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're welcome.
I'll screw it up a bit. Don't worry.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, I guess that's my cue.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have who subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then rake today, the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables our team to cover the costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you crave Amazon Prime True Crime, you can sub-whoop to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emotic bone joints as well as a disgusting THL chat badge. So multiverses that thumbs up button and keep the lights bone to make sure you catch our train broadcasting live. We appreciate each and some of you. Special note to our viewers, heck out THL's other social media points of interest. Website teambarfleague.com. Catch us on Twitter at freehl_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Space Hearth Space League. Face us on Hearthstone. Neji likes to int #6969. The true Hearth Common, Rotten Applebaum Jeans, continues to heal all of our daddios on our YouTube channel. Just besmirch for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Turtle the Missplayer, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all guys, yo, 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 THL fanatics out there, there are you THL shows every single most days of you week. You, Ront, go Ron, tuning in at a time for some Hearthstone belated content. Now, Sakalicious, the bone part, Kachauchi.
So
Excellent.
Well
Excellently
done. Well done. That's the professor in you, isn't it? Catching all that and
Yeah,
Respectable.
sure.
How did you memorize the part before I changed it?
I didn't see that.
Like
Maybe
2 paragraphs in advance.
speed read.
premonition.
All right, so that'll bring us back to our regular scheduled legacy program. So week 7, Neji Boston doing the gold thing.
Yes, I will scroll down and find it. Oh, we got it. All right, we have canceled Hearthstone season versus standard THL degenerates. Canceled Hearthstone season took it 14-12, which was very important for the final standings. We had Molstar 3-2 over Memnarch, Dr. Bomb D 3-0 over Guardo, Water Fury 3-2 over Electric Sheep City. Water Fury was our player of the week. We have Employee 427 taking a 2-3 loss to Risen, and then Crafty Cactus 3-0 over Saku. Yeah, really, really close. If we take a look at the standings on screen, STD missed out on playoffs by 1 point. So did come down to a single match here. I'll maybe let Saku comment on it a bit because he was in this
No comment.
match. That was our comment.
Yeah, Crafty Cactus,
Moving on.
pretty much. If I can describe our game, I just felt bad I couldn't get any points for the team, but it was really just 2 games of watching Crafty Cactus just put cards on the board, and I had a bunch of large minions. So can't play cards on turn 3 when your lowest card in your hand was 8 mana. So it's hard to play Hearthstone sometimes.
It is. Hopefully the Titans will help next season.
Titans, there you go. All right, Chicken, ready for some Red Legacy?
All right. So we're taking a look at Red Conference now. We have a bit of APM on APM violence. We have the Anoyo Political Manifesto beating out the Albatross's play mistakes. So we had 2 3-2s for APM over APM. Agent PWE subbing in to take a victory over Stinzy and Basting, winning in the 2-seed over Bone Masher. And then we had G-Kick winning 3-1 over Canoe, and Leo C sweeping Cherub in the 5-seed. Oh, yeah, Max was like the last one, just not played because it didn't matter for points.
Yeah, so the other team that was in Red Conference had already clinched playoffs at 101 points. You may notice that Albatross's play mistakes is 102 points. And so, yeah, we had already clinched the 3rd seed overall. I didn't really feel like I needed to play my match, and my opponent didn't really want to either, so no contest.
Neat. Yeah, so the Albatrosses got as many points as they needed to make playoffs, and that was that. Still a pretty strong showing from the other APM team, but unfortunately they didn't string enough wins together earlier on in the season for it to end up mattering. They were quite a few points behind in their respective conference, so they were not able to make it. But APM, aka the Albatrosses, will move on to playoffs and carry on the Bone Masher torch, I suppose.
Agreed. Okay. What do we have next? We
have the Department of League of Winistration versus
Nope.
FoL Black. Oh,
that's silver. That's
okay. So going on to Silver Conference.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, that's in the wrong spot.
Yeah, small error.
Wait, this is also in the wrong spot.
In Silver Conference, we had Big W Esports clinching up the 2nd place by winning against F2L White. It was a 12-9 showing there, with actually 2 sweeps up at the top there. Reed Bobson sweeping Wild Rose and Ron Mexico sweeping Nice King. Then L-Bomb 25 ends off a very good season with a 3-1 over 2-star Mako, and then 2 sweeps at the bottom as well. That's Ring 13 sweeping Totino's Pizza, and Skirt sweeping Jim Falos. Yeah, I mean, Big W Esports was pretty close to clinching it at the start of the week. Needed a couple points, got those couple points, and yeah, ended up taking the 5th overall seed.
All right, and I'm just going to flash up the standings here. Just going to wipe out some of the graphics there, and here is the standings there for all the conferences together, along with the top teams in top 2 in each conference. So Still a pretty tight race if you look at the red conference and silver. Well, really in gold with the second place fight there. So
Yeah, and it was 6 teams making playoffs with the Justins and Defias having the bye this week.
I actually forgot. Should we talk about who's facing who this week for playoffs?
yeah, sure.
We've got 2 of the teams we've already mentioned here. That's the Albatrosses Colon Play Mistakes. They're going to face canceled Hearthstone season. So that was the gold and the red conference matches that we showed. And then Big W Esports is facing Neji Team, which is season 24 5v5 Legacy Clown Contestar.
It's a big games. I guess if Wild9, your team was on a bye last week, right?
Yeah, so we're cold. We got 2 weeks off.
You had a pretty sizable lead. I guess you weren't really expecting anybody to leapfrog over the
Yeah, I
point
think
total.
the only thing we weren't sure of is whether we get a bye the first round or not. So there was definitely some scenario in theory where we could end up in third, but it was unlikely, but it was possible.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Tranium. Or is it Tranium? Hold on a second. Yeah, it's
I think
Wild9
it's
doing.
Wild9.
Yeah, I just had to scroll up there. So Wild9 can do the PPR.
All right, final player power rankings for Legacy Series. First, the honorable mentions. We've got Nenji Boston 4-2 with a 13-10 game score. Crafty Cactus 4-2, 15-8 game score. Yockster 4-2 as well with a 14-10 game score. Epic Cat 3-0, 9-6 game score there. Judo Chop 4-2, 15-13 game score. And our top 10, we have at number 10 Based Inc. 4-2, 15-9 game score. At number 9, we have Classy Thug 4-2 with a 15-13 game score. Interesting there. L-Bomb 25 at number 8 with a 5-1 game score. 5-1 match score, 16-8 game score. Number 7, Azalea Akari 4-1 with a 14-6 game score. Lotus Knight number 6 with a 4-0 and a 12-6 game score. Hudak at number 5 going 5-1 with 14-8 game score. Super Chicken in 4th with a 5-1 match score, 16-7 game score. And then a bunch of undefeateds in our top 3. Third, Truth AM drops a couple points, I think, because he was on bye, but 5-0, going with a 15-4 game score. Molestar in second with a perfect 6-0 with an 18-8 game score. And Infinite is in our top spot, 6-0 with an 18-7 game score.
Congratulations to Infinite there. Played well, being 6-0 and landed the top spot. I think pretty much the whole season, maybe. I have to check a couple of the old VODs there.
Truth was in the top spot before, but
Mm-hmm.
he subbed 1 week. He was on a cruise, I think. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, that determines that. So we got Neji Boston for Pro Series. We got week 7 and week 8. So we can rip through that.
Alrighty, let's take a look. First up, we have F2L versus Rocket Propelled Glug Girl. RPGG took it 16-9, with Lasagna winning 3-0 over Chewy, Yo Daddy 3-2 over Based, Rebob 3-0 over Waluigi Time, Nops 3-1 over Marty B, and Pace 3-2 over Itachi. Even with this huge win, unfortunately didn't quite make it into playoffs. F2L snuck in by 2 points, so definitely a good try here, but unfortunately didn't work out for them. The Wild team is no more.
Wah, wah.
I mean, as they say, all the best Wild players would be out of a job if the best Standard players came over.
There's rumor. I heard that.
Yeah,
Many people are saying this.
Yeah.
ended up being a very close competition in that series too. I think it came down to actually maybe a different match that we're going to cover with the with yeah, base needing to beat Banter, which is a tall order.
Yep. So this is the second game there. So if Neji wants to complete the circuit there with the week 8 match, I just couldn't fit everything on the screen. So
Yeah, no worries. Next up, our favorite thing, a tie. 12-12, Brushy Tuna versus F2L, the two Black Conference teams that made it to playoffs. Well, they ended in a tie. We had Chewy 3-2 over Ron, faced 3-1 over McBanter, which was the important match, as Geranium mentioned. Pocket Train 3-0 over Rebob, Marty B 3-1 over Dabs, and Arhat 3-0 over Itachi. All the matches are obviously important, but that's the one that it came down to. So great job from Based beating McBanter, who was 5-1 previously, and locking up the playoff spot.
right on. Any other comments before we rip over to Pink? Nope. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, kind of interesting from our hat, seeing final week Totem Shaman from him, which is not something I would normally think. And then Lasagna, also Totem Shaman. Really just did not want to face Chattiest Druid, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I know our hat secretly likes Totem Shaman. So
Okay, making notes for Hero this week.
I said secretly, so it's not really a secret anymore. So all right. So let's rip over to Pink Conference. So again, with the match 1, we got 2 matches this week. So we'll start with week 7's setup there. So Chicken.
Yeah, so we have the Cheesemongers United versus Zymox and Chill. And it was a somewhat decisive victory for the Cheesemongers. They take 3 out of the 5 matches, but pick up 2 points in each of the losing matches to give them 19 points on the week. And that was enough for them to win the conference pretty handily. Had a pretty strong season overall, and end of the season pretty strong as well. Went undefeated as well with only 1 tie. And yeah, it's just been a great season for people who love mongering cheese. Wild9 with a perfect 7-0, along with everyone else on their team who went better than even, with everyone having a 4-3 or better record. So yeah, super impressive showing overall, and certainly the team to look out for going into pro playoffs.
Any comments, Wild9?
It's been a good season. I don't know. Everyone's pitching in and playing well and having good prep and everything. So hopefully we can carry through because now it's like everyone's 0-0 again, right? So
Yep. Very true. All right, match 2 there, Chicken. Week 8.
Yeah, our next match is F3L versus APM. Another match where the winning team got 16 points. So yeah, it was different margins. We had 4 match wins on the side of F3L, with only German Shep having an unfortunate BQ loss. It was a bit of a miscommunication.
Yep.
I think Danka's dad had set a time before he realized that he had to sub out, and then that was like the time that was agreed to, and then German Shep didn't realize that there was already like a time agreed to, and then he missed it. So yeah, there's definitely a bit of a lack of communication there. So yeah, always check in to make sure you know when you're playing your match. But didn't really matter for us, at least. We were already pretty firmly in a playoff spot, but certainly helped to get as many points as possible with the win here, getting 19 out of a possible 23.
Yep.
With the rest of us winning in our respective seeds. So overall, pretty happy with the result. Yeah, DQs are always unfortunate, but wasn't like I don't know. Chef was trying his best, especially because yeah, it's hard to know what's going on sometimes when you're just subbing in on a team and you're new to the environment as well. I mean, Chef's been come back to THL to sub in for a few teams, but and he subbed for us the week before as well. But I think
just one of those things.
Just a bit of confusion.
Yeah,
it happens.
We knew Bone Masher had some previous engagements, so that's he couldn't play past a certain point.
Deal, yeah.
So it made things through no fault of, I guess, no true fault. It was just bad timing and unfortunate. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunate. Bone Masher's on vacation, so he had a timeline to keep and couldn't do it. So anyway, it is what it is. It does happen every once in a while. So we'll blame Diamond because he's the captain. He should have done a few things. Yeah, we'll say that.
It is Diamond's fault on paper.
Yeah. We're just chirping him for 2 seconds, so it's all good. All right. So match 2 is done. So now we can just kind of briefly look at the pro standings here. So hopefully I don't mess this one up. And so this is the overall finishing. I was just going to say standard, but the end of regular season for the pro series. Any comments from the group?
What are the matches for playoffs?
I think it's Cheesemongers versus F3L. Am I wrong or right?
I think it's across conference. So
yeah,
Cheesemongers playing F2L, Brushy Tuna playing F3L.
Oh yeah, there you go. So
let's be real. Everyone wants the F2L F3L final. It's time. F3L's coming in.
I maintain that we are 50% better.
True.
Yeah, we had that conversation last Hearthcenter. So last episode was a point that Chicken made. So wish. Go ahead.
Yep, the prophecies are still alive in both series then. F2L can face F3L in the finals, and APM can face Justin and Hero. Right. We're gonna go to Pro PPR now.
Pro PPR, yes. And Diamond, just to catch you up, we were just poking fun at the captain taking responsibility for a DQ. So just to catch you up. Anyway.
It is your fault, by the way.
Yeah. So.
Okay, honorable mentions for PPR. We've got Mini, who came in with 5-3, 19-17 game score. Based Inc. once again on PPR, 4-3 with an 18-10 game score. My co-host Neji Boston, 6-2 with a 19-12 game score. Super Chicken as well here with 5-3, 19-14 game score. And McBanterface, 5-2, 17-8 game score. Now on to the top 10. You've got Yo Daddy, 5-3, 18-16 game score. Cookie Monst, 4-4 with a 20-17 game score. 4-4, but against a slew of very tough opponents. Agent PWE, also here 5-3 with 19-13 game score. Jespin made it to 7th, 6-2 with a 19-11 game score. Pocket Train, 6-1, 19-10 game score. Lasagna, 6-2 with a 21-11 game score. Lemur coming in at 4th, 7-1, 21-11 game score. Ron Mexico, 6-2, 22-14 game score. Pyrolama, 6-2, 22-12 game score, despite losing to Lemur, still staying above him. I think just because of strength of schedule. And a final co-host, Wild9, undefeated, 7-0, 21-11 game score. Great performance.
Thanks.
Way to go, Wild9.
That the 5 in honorable mentions look like a scary team if you put that team together in pro.
I know it, and this like chat's gone crazy there a little bit with how the PPR is done, but there is a formula. I don't know what that formula is truly, but yeah, seems weird that you get a 6-2 with a 4-4 in the lineup, but that's.
I mean,
Cookie
it's
Monster had a
simple.
much harder strength of schedule.
Yeah, it's simple. The Cookie Monster beat Neji, which
Oh,
means
okay.
Cookie
There you
Monster
go.
should go above Neji.
Okay, man.
And also, the match wasn't close, Neji. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you got stomped. It was a massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Was it reported? Anywho, that was wild. So speaking of wild, Wild9 gets to do the final, I guess, regular season announcements here. So it's not often that Wild is on here, but I think with Sidebar shut down for the season, we get to review this real quick on how Wild series went.
All right, we have a preview to the playoffs basically, because these two teams, just after 1 week of playing each other, are going to be playing each other again in playoffs. So we have World Shakers against Annoyal Punk Music. And we have Annoyal Punk Music taking it somewhat decisively, although if you look at the game scores, they're very close, but 18-10, 4-1 in the match score here overall. But a number of 3-2 wins. So Stinzy in the 1 taking it 3-2 over Nice Jewish Owl, Slight, or Copa taking it 3-2 over Slight, Maxi Bond 1-2-3-4 taking it 3-1 over Devalian, Rabobson taking it 3-2 against Dankis Dad, and MTG Squirrel taking it 3-1 over Sinferno. So they will be playing each other again back to back. So it'll be interesting how they prep for it. Like, do you bring the same stuff? Do you, throw a curveball? Do you try to target something? What do you do in this kind of format? And yeah, Will Shakers will be looking to get revenge.
Just both teams roll over and have the same out lineups. That'd be cool, right? So, all right. So we can jump over to Wild's PPR with Neji Boston.
That is me. All right.
It is I.
Wild PPR. We have KVLT at a 2-1, 7-5 game score. MTG Squirrel 3-3, Slight 3-3, Martian 1-0, and Reno Jackson 4-1 for our honorable mentions. Coming in at our top 10, we have Devalion 3-1, 10-6 game score. Number 9, Memnarch 4-2, 13-9 game score. Number 8, Rigged, Marty B 4-2, 13-11 game score. Then we have Seth 4-2, 14-14 game score. Dr. Bomb-D 4-2, 14-12 game score. Coming in at top 5, we have Max Ebon at 4-2, 16-10 game score. Stinzy 5-1, 12-9 game score. Top 3 is Copa 5-1, 16-13 game score. Number 2, Nice Jewish Owl, 5-1, 17-6 game score. And number 1, undefeated player, Lorthos, 6-0, 18-4. Congratulations on number 1 and likely MVP.
That's right. Regular season champ. Any comments there? You guys haven't played Wild in I don't. Well, no, Neji hasn't played Wild in a while, correct?
Wild? Huh?
Huh?
What's that?
Neji's one of the most dominant wild players in THL. So I think he's the one who would know who deserves
Yes, of
PPR
course.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the Martian 1-0, 3-2 sub last week. Honorable mention.
It wasn't a
that's
sub. It wasn't
It's
a sub in
awesome.
the last week. It was a sub, I think, like week 4, and
Oh
they
man.
played against another sub.
Oh man, crazy.
amazing.
Corrupted algorithm.
I think it's working as intended. I would say.
Mhm. True.
Well, it is wild, and sometimes they meme, so that could be question mark.
I love that we have a 4-1 player in honorable mentions, and we have a 4-2 in top 5.
Hey,
Makes sense.
there's a formula, just somewhere it works. So,
Yep.
all right, we can move on to closest to the final section of our show, which is Super Chicken doing the quick run through of the trios quarterfinals for week 8. And
Indeed,
this is what happened.
we definitely had some stuff happen. A lot of, or I guess one very large upset, and then a couple other matches that were very, very close. ASU fell to CMU, proving once and for all that CMU is the better school. And yeah, it was a clean sweep. It seems like CMU maybe got a little bit of an edge up on prep on ASU. Seemed to create some favorable matchups for themselves, especially the I think the unholy DK had a bit of a tough time here, but yeah, just in general, I think ASU maybe misread the prep a bit here, and it hurt them a lot. So yeah, going 6-0 into getting swept in the first round of playoffs is pretty tough, but that is how THL goes sometimes. But it feels a little bit harsher in trios because you lose one match and then your season's over versus you know, you have 5 matches to play, so any one match won't decide the week individually. So trios is certainly a bit more cutthroat in that regard. And yeah, the other 3 matches were much closer. We had AFG taking down the 8 Men 3-2. We had Swagoi taking down Great Big 3 3-2, and then we had the L Gang taking down the Big 3 3-2. Yeah, very, very close overall. I know in our uh, match specifically, I think it was our Enrage Warrior that had trouble getting through for the most part. Did our Enrage Warrior lose all 3 games? It might have. I think it did. Yeah. So that kind of stung because it was definitely a deck that we felt pretty confident on, and it had been doing really well for us. But yeah, just some unfortunate draws in critical moments that really cost us. But overall, I think at least for me and my 2 teammates, trios has felt really fun so far. We definitely plan on playing again next season, and I for one, am looking forward to the rest of the playoffs to see what crazy upsets happen going forward.
Yeah, with the Assessa Union climbing up, I don't want to say they're the underdog, but with the 3 individuals that are on there, they played well together throughout the whole season. So 6-1 is nothing to snuff at, right? Or 6-0, they were undefeated until they met the Cheesemongers. So, but yeah, so congrats to all the players that moved on. So Geranium Battle can kind of touch on the trios playoff picture for the Final Four there.
Yeah. Last week I mentioned that there were about half and half collegiate teams to non-collegiate teams. After the eliminations here, there is only one collegiate team left. That is Cheesemongers United. They are now going to be facing Swagoi. And on the other side, Amber Flight Gaming is going to be facing against the L Gang. After talking to Swagoi after their streamed match last Saturday. Both of the teams that beat them in the main season were eliminated. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting now in this final bracket with a lot of teams that did not play each other in the main season. We'll see new results.
There you go. Any predictions on who's going to win, everybody? Out of these two matches?
Well, I think well, so it's a little bit hasty to say that because they beat the undefeated team, Cheesemongers United would win the whole thing. I prefer to think of it as looking at how great the results are in pro. It makes sense that they'd have similarly great results in trios, and I think Cheesemongers United is favored.
Yeah, I would probably pick AFG to win the rest of it. I'd say it'll probably be an AFG Swagoi final. I just think, I think Based and Molstar are the two best players left in trio series, and I think it's not particularly close. So I think those two will do a good job of leading their team to the finals, and I think one of those teams will come home with the title.
I have to go with my pro teammates. So, but I kind of think that the winner of Swagoi or CMU will take it. I think both teams have been playing really well overall and have quality players that have just this season in particular, like outside of trios as well, has just done really well. So I think that they're locked into the metagame. They're playing real well with these decks. Maybe the metagame favors the way that they play, and so I think that the winner of that series will win the whole thing.
Neji? All right. How about Uranium? Any comments?
Chicken, I have some beef with what you just said. If Mole is so good, then where's his undefeated legacy season, huh? Where's his top of the PPR ranks?
How does this affect Mole's legacy?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great players in this bunch. So I like Mole, Based. There's Lemur's having extremely great results this season as well. Yeah, as we were saying, the pro team Cheesemongers United collectively has been doing insane, even if they just barely miss out on like top of their PPR as well.
Agreed. All right. Well, wrapping up our show this evening, and just wanted to touch base on what happened on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday in particular. There was a 24-hour stream that was done pretty proficiently.